Right, fantastic morning. Welcome everybody. Nice fresh morning here in Gauteng, with some fresh mornings to come in the next few days. They say sub-zero temperatures to start the day off. So hope you're all wrapped up warmly if you're in our part of the world. If you're not, well, maybe you don't need to be. So who knows? So it's Lee, BHAGs. So we're on BHAGs this morning. What are BHAGs and what are we doing with them?
Yeah, big, hairy, audacious goals. I don't hear it being used anymore as much as it was a little while ago by Anthony Robbins. Peter Diamandis, and I hope I'm going to get this right, he calls it, there's a different concept that he calls a massive purpose, something massive purpose, and which I think is something completely different, but obviously aligned. But whatever we want to call it, it's this endeavor that's some people have and some people don't have. And it's not something you have to have. That's what I've realized. I look at my mom and dad, and they were very, very happy to live a simple life, a life that didn't have great ambitions and huge goals. And, you know, so long as there was food on the table and my dad could go fishing and my mom could play tennis and their family were all, you know, the chicks were all around and reasonably happy, they were very happy. I don't know whether it's something that's just in you, but there's just something in me that is drawn to, I always called it saving the world. I've always had this desire of doing something big and grand and important and of value, not only to myself, but to others, and to leave something that had a weight to it. And it's in various ways. I've worked in different directions. So, but what does it take? When I think about starting a business, or when I think about wisdoms and moving it from corporate into a consumer environment, can we, sorry, I got distracted by Trevor changing the screen. What is it that we need to do? The one is belief. I think we need to believe in it, believe in what we're doing. I don't think we can do it on our own. I don't think those big, really vital and important goals can be achieved on our own. And I think there's specific people that we need. I think we need mentors. I think we need partners. I think we need family who are there to support us and pick us up and encourage us and allow us to do the crazy things we do. Those were the two main things that I was thinking about: belief and people. And I know there are many other things. But so that's why I'd like to hand over to you and to find out, Trevor, maybe I should just skip Ivan and we'll go straight to you, seeing as you've shared the screen.
I definitely want the podium because I spent the weekend working on big, hairy, audacious goals. And I remember it, Jim Collins. I'm sure he was one of the first that actually proposed that back in the early 90s sometime. So we must just go back and have a look where that came from. But here's something that I want to share. On Friday, the 24th of July, 2020, we decided that we were going to do a global summit. And quite simply for me, that has become a big, hairy, audacious goal. It is a small goal because we want to take away from the virtual trade fair where we had 32 speakers over 4 days, and we only want to do 8 speakers over 1 day. But where is it going to go? So I'm not going to read all of this down here. I'm going to go to where the commitment is. So I'm busy working with a commitment statement today. My partners haven't even seen this. This is the first time they've seen it. And I'm saying that this global summit for us is going to be a global commitment. What I'm looking to do, and I've got to convince Lee and Ivan, and I think they're convinced, but let me just try and convince them. We want to give away a minimum of $1,000 value of all of the training that we've done for the last 30, 40 odd years collectively. So that's well over 100 years of corporate training, entrepreneurial training. We want to give away $1,000 of value, just unencumbered, to 1 million people. And that's going to begin next Friday. For that, I want individuals actually taking it up to give us a commitment back of $1 per month each. So it's 1/1000th of the actual value that we're going to give away. So that's starting to become one of the big hairy goals that I'm working on. And the whole idea here is that we want to bring together passionate people who want to make a positive difference in society. And what we've done over the last 100 days here has told me that we can do it, but not times this group of 10 to 14 people, times 1 million. And will 1 million come on at any one time? No. But if we get 300 on a daily basis, I think we are going to make big things happen. Now, that's one hairy, audacious goal. The other one that we decided on Friday is, after the virtual trade fair, those 4 days, we decided between 3 of us, I think it was Ivan, Jasper, and myself. Gavin was missing. He's got family considerations, I'm sure. But we decided that in the next 60 days, we are going to repeat the virtual trade fair exercise. But instead of going after 118 exhibitors, we're going to go after 1,000 exhibitors. So beginning today, I have 2 hairy, audacious goals. This one that I've just shown you, and in the next 60 days, we are going to deliver another virtual trade fair, not with 118 exhibitors, but with 1,000 exhibitors. So that gives you an indication of where my mind is going. And I don't believe we can succeed going forward, especially after last night's input from President Ramaphosa, without having these BHAGs, big, hairy, audacious goals, as an alternative to whatever your bread and butter income is at the moment. I think we've got to do this. Otherwise, we may as well just go camping.
Is that you? Are you going camping? All right, thanks, Trevor. You ended off rather abruptly. That took me a bit by surprise. So let's pop across to Jasper, seeing that he was mentioned. I know he's got some BHAGs, you know, wants to change the world one person at a time. So Jasper.
Thanks, Ivan. Yeah, I think that's the key, and therein lies my big challenge: how to change the world one person at a time in a mass way. Because you have to bring those 2 concepts together somehow. I'm wearing different hats here, but I think for me the hat that probably carries all the other hats is gig. And gig is about taking people out of a conventional mindset of going with the stream. And like Trevor said, I said after last night, and the fact that there will now also be a ban again on alcohol and stuff like that, you'll probably now see a spike in depression like you've seen never before. Unless people have a vision bigger than themselves, they will just be sucked into their immediate surroundings and circumstances. So for me, it's about how do I bring this message across of taking up the challenge of becoming the founding parent, because the moment you can paint a picture of people for potential, of what is the potential that you can unlock. Anyway, long story short, my hairy goal is I want to create 1,000 success stories, not just people who are members of the bank, but people like my Sarah that come and say my life has been changed and can actually pinpoint to specific events that has changed their lives and moving on. And I know that is starting a family off in the right direction. So I leave it at that, but spilling out of that is a whole lot of other goals that I'm setting for myself.
Great, thanks, Jesper. All right, Guy, let's come across to you.
Ivan, it's freezing. This silver fox hasn't even warmed his brain up yet, man. Come on now. Let's go, man. So, yeah, thank you for me attending today. It was quite an interesting subject. I think Trevor's just gone back to the good old and the standard and very effective SMART goals. You know what they are? Strategic, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound, which is brilliant and good to see. But look, when it comes to goal, there's two minds. People like to tell other people their goals, and some people don't like to tell other people their goals. They like to keep them inside them. To me, it's always been a point of, when you're setting a goal, how fulfilled will you be? What's the fulfillment side? And what's the inner peace side going to be? And I've always tried to look at those, I'd say over the past 15 years or so, before I just set any goal and did whatever it took to go and achieve it, irrespective of worrying about who got in my way or whatever. And I suppose over time one's belief changes, etc. So, yeah, I'm not here to tell you my specific goals. I have a number of them. All I say is, from my standpoint, do they make me more fulfilled? Do they make me, give me more inner peace? And I focus on those two areas. So, and Trevor, I wish you well with Lee and that, with your new initiatives. Good stuff. Thank you.
Great, thanks, Guy. Right, Edward, let's get across to you.
Yeah, I kind of all sorts of things to think about here, really. You know, are you talking about personal goals, or are you talking about personal achievement goals, or are you talking about changing the world? When I was a young lad, I wanted to change the world, and I wanted to be a revolutionary. And I didn't achieve much. But now I want to change the world in a different way. I don't want to know what the outcome is. I just want to help people be better people. And if I can do that, they will then make the right choices. So for me, my big, hairy, audacious goal is actually just doing little things that make a difference to other people's lives and building their self-esteem so they can then go off and do what they want to do. And I think doing that, I've changed the world more than I could have done by having a big vision. So for me, it's about, in some ways, doing small little things. Yes, for me personally, I like to do big, hairy, audacious goals. And I like to sort of climb mountains and run through deserts and stuff like that. But for people, I just like to help them move one tiny little bit. Because if you move lots of people a tiny little bit, you make a massive difference. So that's me.
Great, thanks, Edward. I think, yeah, that's 100% on the money, as they say. You know, it doesn't take one huge step. It takes lots of little steps to get things done. So, yeah, and with you on that one completely. So, Cecile, let's get across to you.
On my personal side, I have a big, hairy, audacious goal that other people would think, to get my second dan in karate. But I've been doing steps, one little step every day for the past few years, but especially for the past 3 months. So I am confident that I'm nearly there. And on the business side, chit chat, I'm working hard to get the annuity income to such a level that I don't have to do anything on chit chat anymore, because the annuity income will work for me for there, and then it will give me the time to do on the per PPE side. the big, hairy, audacious goal is still to try and establish who are the genuine people that you can build the long-term relations with. But we're nearly there. We're nearly there, one little step at a time. But I'm interested in what the chamber is doing. So yes, so don't think I'm not. I'm very interested in everything that the chamber is doing. Thanks.
Great, thanks, Cecile. Mpulela, let's come across to you.
Good morning, good people. I hope you will hear me on your side. I'm having a very unstable internet connection today. Yeah, I was just trying to figure out where we are. Sorry, I missed Friday. COVID became very close to home. I think we were at my aunt's funeral on Friday. She passed away on Tuesday because of COVID. So yeah, it was quite a serious thing. So that's why I wasn't here on Friday. But if I gather from what everybody has been speaking about, it's got to do with goals, right? I mean, they may be personal or big, hairy, audacious goals, as I hear. Yeah, it would have been great if I should have found out earlier, because I have a whole thing that I've written about the audacious goals that I have. It's more like a very inspirational type of like paragraph. But since I don't necessarily have that, look, for me, my goals tend to come from the things that one has gone through in life. So things like people having great relationships, great stable homes, and also people being able to live their lives to their full potential. For me, it's always been a thing. So my goal is very much like Lee, one of those save the world type of like goals. So taking all those things, putting them together, for me, it comes down to helping people lead themselves and also producing great leaders. And I think that for me, if it's in place, it will solve a lot of the many problems that and the challenges that we have in life. So the audacious goal is to produce as many leaders that are ready to do the right thing, but helping people to lead their own lives. What does that mean? If one has come through troubles that they have come through in life, how do they go through them to a point where they can master their own lives and fulfill the purpose that they were given in their lifetime? So leadership, for me, I can say it's a big goal, to produce as many leaders as possible in corporate, at home, and people being able to lead themselves. I think I'll put it there, having tried to put their thoughts quickly as soon as I came onto the platform. Thank you.
Simple. My big, hairy, audacious goal is just to surprise everybody when I pick on them next. So yeah. Get you to think on your seat, because I hope most of us are sitting down. We're not standing at the moment. So Kevin, let's get across to you.
Good morning, everyone. Don't want to make you all seem envious, but I've just like to say yesterday the temperature was 23 degrees coming home yesterday. So I certainly don't need to re-wrap up. Anyway, on the goal side, I'm not really sure how big a goal needs to be classed a big, hairy, audacious goal. But I very much come from Lee's background, where family wasn't really goal driven. So I've always been very careful who you share a goal with, because you'll get the negative feedback of, you'll never do that, you'll never be able to do that. But over the years, connecting with the right sort of people, I am now goal orientated. I've got my goals in my business, and it's very much like eating the elephant one bite at a time. I relate a bit to one of the things that Ivan's put in the chat today about a billionaire to just help other people to be billionaire. The way I put it is, you help enough people get what they want, you'll get what you want. And it's that basis, getting one person at a time gets me that one step closer to the goal that I've set myself. I'm not sure if that's big enough to be classed big, hairy, and audacious, but it's big enough for me for now.
And I think that's exactly the point, Kevin. You know, it's not a point of measuring your goals against other people's. It's measuring your goals against what you want to achieve, and I think that's really what it comes down to. So, Donovan, let's get across to you. Donovan looks like he might have frozen on us again. So while we wait for Donovan, let's go across to Solomon.
Hi, everybody. Yeah, Mpumela, I say, I'm thinking about what you're saying, and I'm thinking like you and I are probably twins or something. Anyway, I think my goals has got to do with obviously the gifts that are coming and arising within myself. Generally, I'm a compassionate kind of a person. So when I see situations that needs to be redeemed, I obviously want to use my gifts to be able to make a difference in those situations. So one of my passions and my desire is to always help people to discover their own potential. And if I'm unable to take them to the next step in terms of them developing that potential, then I'll connect them to somebody else who will be able to help them to the next step. So yeah, I actually enjoy training and seeing other people really cooked and being in a better place to be able to really see their lives at a better place. So yeah, that's that. Thanks.
Great, thanks, Solomon. All right, Stella, let's get across to you.
Morning, everyone. Thanks, Ivan. Yeah, so I don't have these big, hairy, audacious goals. I also just want to make small impacts on people's lives. Specifically, children are so important to me, and today's children is the future of tomorrow. And through specifically with my choice of becoming a divorce mediator is to help couples see the impact that they have on their children during the divorce. Because I've seen so many times, luckily when I got divorced, my children was already in their 20s. But I've seen so many other couples where they use the children as playing balls between each other. And if I can just during the divorce process help people to realize not to do that and to give their children to happy homes where they can feel safe and welcome and loved. I think then I've made my goal with the children, with people, making a difference in their lives, so that those children are not, when they are adults, that they can be better people. So yeah, my biggest goal is just to know that I succeeded in helping other people.
Great, thanks, thanks, Stella. Yeah, it's an interesting topic, you know, as Kevin said, you know, maybe your BHAG doesn't seem like a BHAG to somebody else, but that's really not the point of this at all, I don't think. And it's something that is really important to you and that you want to achieve. And you know, if we all do that, I then fall 100% in line with Edward's comment about you know, making lots of small little, or people. Helping people with lots of small little changes that eventually have a ripple effect that goes out and makes massive differences. Sort of a bit on a lighter note, I'm sure some of you have heard the story about the business consultant that went to the little fisherman that was sitting on the shore, and saying to him, you know, you've got such a fantastic business opportunity here. You know, why don't you let me consult you and we can grow your business and you know, develop. And he said, well, why would I want to do that? And he said, well, you know, if you get this business, you can employ more people, you can make more money, you know, you can get a really good business going. And I said, well, why would I want to do that? So I said, well, then eventually you can, you know, have lots of money and you can retire. And he said, well, why would I want to do that? So he said, also you can sit on the beach and fish. So I said, well, you know, that's what I'm doing. so yeah, what is your BHAG is definitely down to a very personal thing. And yeah, for me, I think I touched on mine a little bit the other day, and then that was to become a nomad. So how does one become a nomad? I think you've got to get yourself into a position where you've helped that billion people, and you've made the necessary to do exactly what you want to do. And so I think Trevor touched on our wisdom's goal, and you know, that's something that Lee and myself and he are very aligned on. To get out there and get our message to, you know, to at least 1 million people and hopefully beyond. So I think we've got lots of elements that are lining up hopefully in the right direction, and over time, yeah, we'll move towards them. And I think that's one of the other keys. You know, it's difference between a BHAG and a dream is the little actions that you're taking in terms of moving towards them. You know, lots of people have got these fanciful ideas, but they never go anywhere because they actually don't truly believe in them themselves, and it becomes a dream, not a goal. So I think, yeah, that's me in a nutshell. Lee, over to you.
Thanks, everyone. It is inspiring, you know, when you listen to each person share something that is meaningful to them, and the difference that they're making in their circle, in their communities, in and the purposefulness that goes into making these decisions and taking these actions. And as we were talking about, you know, making these small differences that I believe, and as you know, Edward was saying, ripples out to who they know, and so on and so on. And so you change the world in this way. Kevin spoke about, you know, you give enough people what they want. So one of the things that in one of the wisdoms programs that I was running in a corporate environment, there was an Indian man. So he had immigrated from India to South Africa, and his English was okay, but his expertise was in technical. So he was a whiz in his field, and had obviously been asked to attend this course to develop from a personal point of view. And over the period of time that we were involved with the program, came to the end, and I asked everybody to share. So, you know, what impact has this had in your life? And listen, there were many amazing things, and I might be telling you something that's very simple, but for me, I could see the significance of this in this man's life. And he put it like this: I have learned to stand up to my boss and say more about what I think and how I feel. And I've learned to listen more to my wife. And I thought, well, you know, if this course has done that, then it's been worth every single minute of it. So, yeah, BHAGs. You know, we could keep talking. I think we'll give Mpumelelo a chance to go and find that inspirational paragraph that he wrote, and we can come back to that. But what I'd like to do for tomorrow is turn the focus on Edward. Edward, would you mind telling us your story tomorrow? Would you be ready?
I've spent the weekend preparing it, yeah, so saying yes is a bit of a problem sometimes, but it threw up some interesting things actually, so yes, I'm ready.
Lovely, lovely. Isn't it amazing how when you think about your story, it just, as you say, there's all kinds of flotsam and jetsam that rises to the surface, and you didn't realize it was sitting there. So thank you for allowing us to listen in on your life and the parts that you choose to share with us. So we look forward to that. It's going to be exciting, and look forward to storytelling tomorrow morning.
Great, thanks, Lee, and thanks, Edward, for that. And again, I think it's been said, but Pulelo, very sorry for your loss this last week. You know, these things are becoming very close and real to us all, I think. So yeah, our thoughts with you and your family. Right, folks, hope you have a great day rest of the day, and we look forward to hearing from Edward tomorrow. So see you then. Go well.